Okay, so I'm coming today. As y'all can see, I took down my little braids, and I didn't intend to be taking them down today, but I had to end up coming to work, unfortunately. So it is what it is. I'm trying to see. Oh, my cousin made it to our car. But yeah, so there's my granny behind me. So, geez, all that made me forget what I was about to say. My internship was at a place with my granny and my cousin, so isn't that fun? But yeah, so I told y'all I had an internship with a hospital in my area. So today, this morning, I got a call that, I'll be starting my job on Monday, which is so exciting. And I think I'll have to make a separate video just on that because, God truly works in mysterious ways. Or maybe I can just make this video about that. So, the way I even got my internship, and it's really just, so last year, on New Year's Day, so January 1st, 2019, I went to brunch with my parents, my mom, my dad, and both of my grandmas. So, which is one of the grandmas I just passed. So, look at God. But yeah, so we all went to brunch or whatever. We were waiting. We went to Cracker Barrel. And, there was a little wait because I think we got there about 11:30 or whatever. But my mom, she likes to be my mom likes to be places on time. But we had got there a little late or whatever, but so me and my mom were just waiting, in a little area about all the candy and stuff, and this man just comes, starts talking to us randomly, and which is not uncommon, because random people always talk to my mom especially, but me too. I don't know if we're just having biting faces or what. So yeah, and was talking to us or whatever, and he asked me, this was going into my last semester of college, so he asked me, did I want to be a nurse or whatever, am I interested in nursing school? And I said, well, actually, I'm a healthcare administration major, I'm about to be graduating. He thought I was still in high school because his wife had a nursing school. So I said, no, actually, I'm in college, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, well, what's your major? I said, healthcare administration. And he said, really? He said, my wife is the COO at the hospital here. I said, really? He said, yeah, I'm sure she would love to meet you. So we sat down for breakfast or whatever. They called our name. We sat down, and then, a few minutes later, they got called, and, he introduced me to his wife, and we really had a good start. I was going into my last semester, so I told her that. Told her what my major was and all of that stuff. And oops, y'all see my tassel. But yeah, so, and she was like, yeah, I'd love to work with you or whatever, and at least be a mentor with you, but I want to offer you an internship and blah blah blah. And I said, that'd be great. So we stayed connected throughout my last semester of college. When I came home, I started my internship in July. Okay, now mind you, that was all God. Okay, because I was very I didn't know what I was going to do when I got out of college. I didn't know how I was going to gain some experience. I had an internship at school, but it just wasn't what I wanted to do. I know it wasn't what I wanted to do. And I needed something broader, something more hospital focused, something more, just so I can learn a little bit more. So I ended up getting that internship, right? And so I had been there, so since today was my last day, since July, I think my first day was July 7th. So I went in, and I did a lot at the hospital, and learned a lot. And she's been a great mentor, great resource, and just a great person, great woman all the way around. She does her job well. She's just fantastic. I have no complaints. So, about in September, I was talking to her, because it was an unpaid internship. And while I was in school, she did tell me, initially it was supposed to be paid, but then she did tell me, we'll have to offer it to you unpaid because we don't have any money in the budget. And mind you, this is a community hospital, so they don't have a lot of money. And initially I was like, okay, I don't know if I want to pursue it, but I said, no, experience is something that you cannot pay for. Connections and networking, that's something you cannot pay for. So yeah, I'll still go ahead and do it. I still live at home. I don't have any bills, so I said, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'll serve as a volunteer or whatever until I can, find my solid position within the hospital or wherever. So I go to meetings with her, and the hospital that I was at is under a healthcare foundation. So I'd go to meetings with her at that foundation, meetings within the hospital for, outsourcing companies and things like that. So for example, food service and environmental services and lab companies and all of that type of stuff. So when I went to the meeting with her, at the healthcare foundation, we would talk obviously on our rides over there, about what my plans are and, all of that. So, I met the CEO of the foundation, and she really introduced me to key players within both the hospital and, the foundation. So the CEO actually ended up referring me to a lady that, he thought maybe I could get a job with or get some experience with. So I said, that's great. So I reached out to her, and she didn't get back to me immediately, but I'd say about a month later, a few weeks later, she did. She said that actually the CEO referred me for a position. Her and the CEO had been talking, and he referred me for the position that that she had, and the opening that she had. So I was just like, wow, look at God. And this is all just being in the right place at the right time, and having faith, and God is just so good. But so yeah, and what was I saying, y'all? My lips, I need some chapstick. So she ended up reconnecting with me, told me that they had been talking for the position, and he had referred me, and I said, oh, that's great. So we had an initial meeting in about October, the first 2 weeks of October, and she told me, they wanted me to help with some projects, and I come very highly recommended, and blah 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 blah. And I was like, wow, when you're doing something and you don't know if you're really making that much of an impact, or but it turns out I was, which felt really good. And so people can't drive. People cannot drive. But lucky I was on here with y'all, or I would have cussed. But yeah, so they could have made that light. Now I gotta smash on my brakes. But so yeah, and ended up, so we've been actually in talks about this since October, me and the lady, and I don't want to put anybody's name out there or whatever, because this is a public space. But so we've been talking since October, and finally I have my start date, and it really feels good, because not only do I start working on Monday, but I also start my classes and my schooling. My first day of my face-to-face class is Thursday, so I'm taking 2 classes this semester, one online, one face-to-face. So I start school this week. I start, next week. I start working next week. My orientation is tomorrow. It seems like everything is really starting to fall in line, and I feel very confident and in the right place, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm going in the right direction. I feel like I'm meeting a lot of the right people. I feel like I'm, you know, exactly where I'm supposed to be, which feels great. Like, feels great. Let me just go left. And yeah, so I'm very excited. I'll definitely keep y'all updated on that as far as my, you know, what I'm doing there. For anybody that's interested in my major, or that was interested in my major, or exactly what I'm doing, because I don't know, that's a whole nother video. So yeah, to come on, I'm gonna share how that is just a small testimony of, because I was so confused at one point. I didn't know what I was doing, honestly, and how I was going to get to where I wanted to be. But God is placing me exactly where I'm supposed to be. Even when I told, because I was actually laying at home, I ended up going into work today. I go on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Today is Friday, and I went ahead and went in because I was laying in bed this morning, and I was not intending on going in. Like I said, I got the call from the lady that I'll be working under at the Healthcare Foundation, you know, that they offer me the position, and, you know, I can start on Monday and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wow, okay, so that's great. I start on Monday. So I texted my mentor, and I was like, you know, this and this, and thank you so much for helping me. And she was like, no, God did this, you know, volunteering help, you know, it shows how dedicated you are, how much you want this, how you're willing to work unpaid, as long as you're still, you know, in the vicinity, in the space with the right people. You know, that speaks a lot on you, and it speaks a lot on your character. And, you know, I thank God, I thank my parents for, you know, guiding me and just placing me in all the right places at the right times. And I really can't thank God enough, because this is all unto Him. Like, a year later, and I'm, you know, and I'm moving in the right place. Like, it's just really amazing. So, and it might not sound like much to anybody else, but it's a lot for me, and I know what it means for me, for my future. So, it's exciting, and I'm ready, and I'm happy, and I'll keep you guys updated on, you know, what's going on for me. There's something else going on too, but you guys will learn about that soon enough. And yeah, it's a great day in the neighborhood. Okay, so thank you guys so much. I pray for a great 2020 for you all. I pray for greater faith, greater blessings, for anybody that's watching, for everybody that's not. So, yeah, thank you all so much, and stay tuned.